Hello everyone, so today is the 8th of March, which is also the International Women's Day and my birthday. So I wanted to illustrate something that was somewhat different yet linked to the other drawings. It is the 8th day of the Shik Creates 8 Days of Drawing Challenge for the International Women's Day 2021, and they're all basically tributes to my grandmother who passed away now it's 3 weeks ago. So I wanted to kind of display something that would be very special. My grandmother's name was Taramatee, and Taramatee means Star Jem. So I wanted to kind of display that. In Hinduism, there's a belief that, there's reincarnation, but also after a certain amount of good things that you've done or good karma, you also attain moksha, which is salvation essentially. So, and then you become a star. So that's why I wanted to portray that, because I really hope that Nani has received a salvation. But this video is going to be slightly longer, which is why I have chosen to read my grandmother's eulogy that I wrote for her funeral. So here we go. As Maute's banter and sparring partner, I feel like the responsibility of writing a few lines about her falls onto me. Let's say she would have most probably assigned this role to me herself if she could, just so that it be done to her liking. And we all know she was very particular. Taramatee Parmauti Mati, a wife, a mother, a sister, an aunt, and a grandmother. An integral part of a community, a devoted Hindu, an inquisitive soul, and despite her small size, was as strong as mine as she was in body, well into her late years. Nani was born in 1937 to a humble family, and she was blessed with 2 mother figures and an adoring father. Her life was not easy, yet from an early age she was a caring and protective person, especially towards her brothers, fulfilling the roles of aunt rather than sister, and later, after one of them passed away, she took on the responsibilities of a godmother to their children. These caring and protective traits have never weakened and have led her to take care of many in her large and vibrant family throughout her life. She was loved by her daughters, nieces, nephews, and grandchildren, who meant the world to her, and she would spend every possible occasion with them. Married off at the age of 14 years old, she entered a relationship and friendship with Nupal, or as we call him, Sateo, which lasted 70 years. Nana and Nani were quite close for most of their lives. Their daughters recall their parents' regular trip to the cinema and Nani's acute memory of actors, songs, and films. Nana and Nani went on dates on most Thursdays at Kuda waterfront, where they visited the same restaurant. These restaurant owners knew Nana and Nani by name and admired them for their constant reminder of love. Nana's first trip to England can be recalled quite fondly, whereby for 3 weeks he asked to call Nani every single day. Nani was a supportive wife and cared for Nana very much. Her caring nature really shone even in her last weeks. She had one main worry: her dementia-ridden husband and how he was going to cope without her. They both held a very respected status in the community and were highly regarded within the temple. But Nani was a social bird anyways, and she had excellent domino playing abilities. She'd win competitions, and she'd often boast about it. Nani also had an inquisitive mind. She was a strict teacher, particularly when it came to her daughters and grandchildren, who she encouraged to reach the highest standards. Never shy to voice her opinions and teachings on any topics, really, from critiquing local events, to commentating on ill-dressed cartoon characters, to passing on tradition to the next generation. While ill health unfortunately deprived her of a formal education from quite an early age, she was an avid learner, with a keen mind, and never lost her great ability to amass knowledge, retain memories, and recount stories. Such stories often came from special occasions like religious festivals, or in particular one of her favourite, weddings. Sweetie and I remember being dragged to various weddings where she would sit and sing while tapping on metal cups with spoons. She even spent months practicing her singing for my wedding, so that tells you how much weddings were special to her. Above all, perhaps, her most enduring quality was her strength, whether of mind and will, which she retained until the end, or body, which unfortunately weakened in her later years. Nani was a fighter, enduring 2 strokes, teething attacks from young grandchildren, especially me, and severe osteoporosis, and even at the end impressed doctors and nurses with her extraordinary ability to endure discomfort, especially for a lady of such small proportions. This was second only to her stubbornness and resolve, which are evident to all who have known her, and which imparted onto her girls and will live on in us. To be honest, even though she always will be my favourite sparring partner, I must take this opportunity to look back at some character traits we'll remember her by the most. I must share a little anecdote in which her strong character stood out and which taught me an important life lesson. My entire childhood, Nani called me Mutuk, which means caterpillar or little bug. She would state that my sister was born a butterfly, but I was a caterpillar. All her metaphors and analogies did not always make sense, especially to me since she was always pulling my leg. It's only when she visited England in the summer of 2008 that she told me that I had finally turned into a butterfly. I spent my entire childhood thinking that she preferred my sister to me, but all this while, she was teaching me an important life lesson that I needed time to grow into who I was meant to be. She always had love, even though her love was tough most days, but love was there nonetheless. I really do hope that Nani has become a star, like her name says, Tara, and she received moksha, which is salvation, and that her soul has finally attained peace. Either ways, she'll be keeping a keen eye on us and keeping our seats warm when we see her again when our time comes around. So I would like to thank all of you for being here today. Nani would have appreciated that. As we all know, she would have taken any chance to be around family. She would be happy to see all of us gathered here and together in these hard and sad times, comforting each other and remembering her. No matter what your last name might say, you might be a Mati, Dasrat, Shemansky, Short, Haridas, Kohli, Dautal, somebody from Nouvelle Découverte or more. You were part of her family and she loved you. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you. So this was the eulogy. I wanted to also talk about various different things about her. The one thing that I think I would always remember from my grandmother is the softness of her hand. Her hands were super soft and they had such a gentle touch to them. And I remember us falling asleep to her gentle tapping of on our thighs, just this gradual little tap until we fell asleep. And before her casket was kind of sealed, I had put a little flower in her hair because that's something that I did quite often, and I held her hand. Doing these 8 drawings has been my way of paying tribute to my grandmother because it's my way of coping. I don't know how else to showcase my emotion, I guess, in a way that is healthy. Rather than crying or spending time being depressed about somebody who I have lost, I decided to put pen to paper and do what I can do best. I have no idea. She probably have said something along the line of what a waste of time. We all deal with grief in different ways. There's no manual as to how you accept somebody passing on and how that affects you. I started to mourn my grandmother's death way before she even passed on, because obviously she was not responding anymore. And today is my first birthday without her. Just saying that in itself is such a weird thing. So, going back to the painting, I wanted to kind of concentrate on the theme of International Women's Day as well. So I've got little moons surrounding the star, because obviously a star is really a sun that is at a distance, right? So I wanted to have little moons or little planet looking things that could represent the other women in my life, but also in my grandma's life. So they represent my cousins, my sisters, my aunts, my mum, and I just wanted to have that kind of illustrated. I really hope you enjoyed the series. It was an interesting path for me to take, but also I've not really been very well in the past week. I've tried to push through and create something that would be semi-complete. So after this series, I will take a look at all of the paintings together and see what I can amend, and post up a update of that towards the end of the month, if not towards the end of next month. But for today, even though I am not celebrating anything, I would just like to say it's International Women's Day today, and I spent the past 7 to 8 days, let's just say, reflecting on the life of a woman that I really admired. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video and this series of videos. Please let me know which one of the paintings that you liked the most. So the first one we had was the Grace of Capricorn, which was followed by the Bird Lover. We also had the Bride, which was then followed by the Goddess Durga. Moving on to the Mother, 3 Generations, the Queen of Shade, and then lastly the Star. So let me know in the comments below which one was your favorite. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you're notified every time I have a new video. And I will see you at the end of the month with another video. Bye.